But okay, so let's go. The orange is pretty, obviously it's a very familiar shape. It's just a sphere. So the first thing to think about is where's the direction of the light. So we're going to go pretty central, just a little bit off to the left. So sort of hitting there, which means this area here is going to be the lightest. And then just like shading a classic sphere, we're going to transition into our midtones. So this is going to be white at the highlights, and then quickly into cadmium orange, and then cadmium yellow deep, then cadmium orange deep, and then this will just be that cadmium red light. So we're going to go right from yellow all the way to red, and hopefully if we do it right, they'll all look like orange. So do I clean my brushes with odorless thinner? No, I don't use turpentine, terpenoid, odorless mineral spirits, oil thinner, anything like that. I don't use any of that stuff. I don't really clean my brushes. I paint every day, and I just don't really paint my brushes. I'm sorry, I said paint. I don't really clean my brushes. I just keep using them. I don't use a wide variety of brushes. Like you're going to see this painting here. I'm probably going to do just, what is this, a number 6? Yeah, this is a number 6 filbert. I'll probably paint the whole thing with a number 6 filbert and a number 2 round, like the whole thing. Other than the background, obviously, if I'm doing huge spaces, then I'll do something. But no, I don't typically. So this is cadmium yellow deep. So this is kind of the highlighted area. And I'm going to transition down to the cadmium orange. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the dark backgrounds too. You don't give the audience any choice. They have to look at the subjects. When you really fill your background up, you activate your background, it can make for a more balanced piece, but it's much harder to control the flow of perception. So, and when you're doing a still life, it's the subject matter is so limited. You really do want to try to tell a story with it, and part of that story is about moving the eye around the painting. So if you can neutralize aspects of the painting that are unneeded, then that will serve to help you. Let me just see if this, no, that's still wet. I was hoping I could rest my finger. I like resting but right here I can, that's fine. So this is just straight cadmium orange. I'm pulling in some of the brown from the background, and that's going to blur the edges a little bit, and that's fine. It's also going to help the orange kind of sit in the space. I don't want to get too much of that brown. I want to keep the color very vibrant, but a little bit will be fine. Let's have to be reasonably careful. Yeah, this is oil paint for sure. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks everyone for dropping by on this Tuesday. I'm kind of settling into a Tuesday and Friday situation here with the lives. So for those of you who were here on Friday but have just joined, I haven't finished with the auction piece yet. it's just too wet to work on it, so I've switched it up and I'm doing this. This is a piece for it's actually a gift, this piece. Just doing a lot of blending at the moment. So this is cadmium. It does take a little bit of a while to dry, as compared to other. Titanium and cadmium take probably the longest, I would say. But that's why we have other paintings at the ready. The texture of the orange I'm going to put in after. Just going to get the major colors down first. You don't want to start working on texture and then realize that something needed to be darker or lighter. So do I ever use a mahl stick? Yeah, I have a fun makeshift mahl stick. I'll show you what it looks like. Here it is. It's a selfie stick. So that just goes down, telescopic lens, and then I hook it on to my easel like this. Yeah, so that's my makeshift mahl stick. I usually just bring it out when I'm working on details, not for these kind of big chunks of area like I have now, but yeah. A lot of these highlights are actually going to have white in them, but I'm not putting any of that in right now. I just want to go with strictly with color for the moment. And, otherwise, I run the risk of losing some vibrancy, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep these colors as vibrant as possible. I should get it patented. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I think the best use of a selfie stick. I'm not exactly the kind of person that would use it for its intended use. But somebody gave it to me. I was in, I went to Basel, I guess you'd call it, Basel, Switzerland in 2016. And I had 3 pieces in the Scope Art Fair in Basel. And somebody gave it to me there, so I brought it home. It was a gift, so I didn't want to throw it away. Are these oil paints? Yes. Yeah, they are. They're using Gamblin, which is a manufacturer from Portland, Oregon in the States. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm just kind of roughing it in yet. I haven't put any details in at the moment. Your orange tree is full and almost ripe. Oh, wow. It would be nice to live in a place that has orange trees. It's just snow where I am. I don't think we can grow orange trees. I'm going to go now to the cadmium red light. So this is just This is basically just very light red, but in the right environment, it will read as orange. So. Just going to keep mixing these colors together. Once I get the right tones kind of settled in, then I'm going to add some textures. And oranges or clementines. I guess this technically is a clementine, but they have almost like a stippled effect. All about blending. Yeah, that's oil painting, that's for sure. If you're not into blending, then I do recommend acrylics. But if you are an acrylic painter and you like blending, then I think you should switch to oils. Okay, I'm going to get a smaller brush out now, just to do these dots. Oh, thank you, Dublin. It's got to be pretty late there, maybe midnight or something, close to it. Yeah, they make extenders for acrylic, and then, and if you don't like the drying time for oil, you could also speed up the drying time with oils, so you can kind of, in between having slow drying and fast drying agents added to different oils or acrylics, depending on what you're doing, you can actually have your acrylics take longer to dry than some oils, which is really funny to think about. But yeah, it's not the same. But that's a good point. So I'm going to put a little more light down here because there's going to be some light from the liquid that's just reflecting off of the orange. It'll make more sense when I paint the liquid here. Do I go through a lot of paint? No, I don't. Not at all. So you're terrified of the cost? Yeah, let me. I do a little demonstration. So let me do this demonstration again right now for you guys. So apologies to those of you who are regulars. You've probably heard and seen me do this a few times already, but it is valuable information for those people looking to get into oil painting. Okay, so here's an oil paint. Here's a tube. This is magenta. So this is Michael Harding. This is a United Kingdom manufacturer. This is the most expensive oil paint you can buy. Okay, because there's no fillers. Oil paint has 3 things in it. It has pigment, which is ground rocks like lapis lazuli. They get rocks or metals like cobalt or cadmium or lapis lazuli and make them into powders. And that powder is called pigment. Okay, pigment goes in. Then the other thing is called the binder. The binder is linseed oil for oil paint. The binder is gel medium for acrylic paint. So it doesn't have to be linseed oil. It could be poppy seed oil, walnut seed oil, coconut oil even. There are lots of different oils that can be used for oil paint. But those are the 2 mandatory things, pigment and binder. And then the third thing is optional, which is called filler. Now filler can either be wax or chalk, calcium carbonate, or talc, right? It changes the texture of the paint, but also it's a lot cheaper than the first 2 ingredients. It's a lot cheaper than the pigment and the oils. So the companies that make student grade paint or less expensive oil paint typically those paints have a lot of filler in them. Michael Harding and another company called Old Holland are the 2 companies that use no filler whatsoever. This is oil paint, so no filler whatsoever. It's just the pigment and the binder. Okay, so having said that, is it expensive? Yes, it's expensive. So how you tell is you take the series number, multiply by 10, and then add 10. So series 3 is 30 plus 10. This is a $40 tube of paint. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of money on 1 tube of paint. You flip it over and you see the 16 there. This is batch 43 from 2016. So I've had this for 6 years. Okay, $40 is a lot of money up front, but if you get it for a present, birthday present, holiday present, something like that, $40 6 years ago. Okay, so sorry, just give me a moment. Okay. Apologies. So $40 for 6 years, and I've used half of it, right? So $20 worth in 6 years. So per day, that's not much at all. I'll let you do the math on that one, but Michaels has a very limited selection. I think they have. They might have Winsor Newton, which is perfectly acceptable. So in terms of paint, I have a YouTube channel explaining all of the different tiers, like professional and student grade, and then recommendations for both, recommendations for different budgets, and so on. So I will recommend watching that YouTube video, but basically Old Holland, Michael Harding are top tier, and then just underneath that would be something like Williamsburg. If you know Golden Acrylics, they make Williamsburg oil paint now. Winsor Newton's right in there. Gamblin is probably your best bang for your buck. Thank you so much for saying about the YouTube. Can I show the roses? Yeah, sure. So I'm working on the vase, but it's too wet. I want to round it off and then put the details in, but it's too wet to do anything with it right now. So I'm having to work on this piece here. This is my 3-year-old. Just went for his first swimming lesson. So that's him coming back right now. No, the piece isn't finished. It's I'm still working on the vase. It has a lot more work to go. Yeah, really talkative. Yeah, for sure. He usually likes to come to right before he goes to bed. He usually likes to come to if I'm on a live and say good night, and he probably will this time around. He's his reading is really coming along, so he likes to read the comments. Tell you about the sketches and how I plan to paint with the outlines. Yeah, so what I do is I draw the whole thing out. I gesso this is a wooden panel. I gesso the whole thing first with black gesso, which is what you're seeing here. This is the black gesso. And then I draw on top of it with a white colored pencil or a gray colored pencil. And then I basically just color it in from there. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna blend in some of this white here. On my TikTok today, I just posted a challenge. So if you check out my main TikTok page, you can see I posted a challenge called Life in the Dark Challenge. If you wouldn't mind interacting with that video, whether it's comments, likes, shares, I'm really trying to get some a little more traction on that video, just because it is for a good cause. It's for the Red Cross. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing that, that would be hugely appreciated. It's called Life in the Dark Challenge. The idea is that there are people who are living with very limited access to power, to electricity, and the Red Cross is trying to just trying to raise awareness. Hands the most difficult according to experts? Yeah, I guess well, they're right up there. I don't think hands are the most difficult, personally, and I'll tell you why. So if I do a portrait, if somebody pays me to paint their portrait, right, which has happened. I'm not a portrait painter mostly, but I have painted portraits. So if somebody pays me to paint a portrait, if I mess up the hands a little bit, you can't really tell. You just can't. I can be off with the length, with the width of a finger, with the shape even. I can be off. But if I mess up the eye shape, even by 0.5 millimeter, the whole face looks off. The whole face. And it doesn't, you know how little it takes to lose a likeness? There's this, you just immediately go into this uncanny valley, like, I know it's supposed to be this person, but it just looks off and I can't put my finger on it. And you get these kinds of comments. And it's usually it's just a millimeter or two. It just takes nothing and to be off on a likeness. So I would say the eye is the most difficult for if you're doing a portrait. Like if it needs to be a specific eye. If it doesn't need to be a specific eye, then yeah, just the shapes of the hands are tough for sure. I guess everyone has their own most difficult part to draw. I'm going to go with a smaller brush now and just work on some of the details of this orange. Oh wow, thank you so much for that target. Really very generous. And thank you to everyone who is tapping that screen. We're at 6.8 thousand, so that's thank you so much for your support. If you do like my art and you're interested in owning some of it, but maybe it's not exactly in the budget, then let me recommend my prints. I do have prints available in my shop. They start at $25. And all my prints are the same size as my paintings, except the really big one. The really big painting isn't the same size, but all of these 16 by 12, yeah, the prints are the same size. So, and I got a really good manufacturer to supply the prints, so the quality is there. Yeah, if you're interested, please do check out my there's a link in the bio, my online shop. It's Mark Liam Smith. No. These ones are in particular are not signed. The manufacturer I ended up going with, it's like the supplier is they have a number of offices or fulfillment centers, I guess, throughout the world. So if you're in Europe, then it'll be one of their places in the UK or Spain that does the fulfillment, and that way shipping is really low. Like the maximum shipping is $8 anywhere in the world. So it was just a decision I had to make in order to keep the shipping low. But the orders can be fulfilled in Canada or in the States or in Europe, and I don't have to pass on the expense for the shipping. But yes, you do sacrifice the signage. But I always sign on the back anyway, and if they're in a frame, it's not like you're ever going to see it. Tapping to show likes. Yeah. Thank you so much. I do see the little things floating up. Yeah. Can I paint your dogs? Am I able to, or will I? I am able to. And in terms of will I or not, that's just, that will come down to timing and budget and things like that. I only sell my work through galleries, and I'm represented by 3 different galleries. For my oil paintings. For my photography, I have a different gallery. But I am open to commissions for sure. I currently have a solo show on right now in Montreal at Gallery Yoon. And then I have some work up in Australia at 19 Karen right now. And my next show is in New York City with Treat Gallery. And that's at the end of March. So I certainly have time after this. After I finish the auction piece, I have time to do commissions. I'm just going to put some of these kind of darker spots in the random places. Now, because I'm painting the same color on top of a whole bunch of different colors, because obviously this is a fade, then these spots are going to look like different colors. So that's one of the advantages of painting in this particular style. It's called alla prima. And alla prima is a wet into wet technique. And if you're not painting alla prima, then that means you're letting the layers dry in between applications. And that's something you have to do if you're going to be glazing. It's very important, in fact. These little random spots are just going to imply texture. Oh, thank you so much for the target. It's very kind. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep filling this area with these spots, giving the clementine some texture. And then I'm going to come back now with a lighter orange. It's actually cadmium yellow deep. It's the color we're using for the lightest areas here. And I'm just going to go on the outside of these spots. Oh, thank you for the little crown. You may not be in liberty to quote her, but highly interested in portrait of sea or dogs. Yeah, if you're interested in getting a commission, you can send me an email. And all of my information is in my bio. You can click the link in my bio. You can send me an email, please, and yeah, we can certainly start the conversation. I'm always happy to explore the possibility. So I'm just adding little white dots on top of the darker dots, and then what that does is it'll imply texture. It'll make it seem like the light is kind of getting caught on the edge of the divots. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Some more highlights up here. Might want to go with even a pure white. And the most extreme highlight, which is right here. Right here. How long have I been practicing art? Yeah, thank you for the question. So I've been drawing my whole life. I started with comic books when I was a kid, 10, 11, 12, 13, that kind of thing. And I drew obsessively. I didn't start painting until I went to university, so much later. But yeah, I've always been interested in drawing and art. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that compliment. Okay, let's move down now to this orange slice here. Do I know how to sketch a hand? Yeah, you could say that. I have a bunch of how to sketch videos, how to draw videos, and I have a bunch of hand ones, yeah. That's actually my most popular video is how to draw a hand. It's I think that one got 32 million likes. Yeah, I've been drawing hands a lot. Hands and feet and faces, for sure. Okay. Yeah, so just please do check out my my different. I have a playlist for my how to draw, so it's easier. You don't have to scroll through all my videos, and yeah, just go to the playlist, how to draw playlist, and you can see the hand. I have 4, I think. Okay, let's just jump right into this one now, and I'm gonna start with the lightest area and then work backwards from there. So the lightest area is going to be this center here. See where I'm going with this. Just trying to connect these, figure that out later, the physics of it. And then just white up here too. Just create a nice contrast between the white of the orange and then the slice. Just really separate those two. Oh, thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, if you guys are interested in picking up any of my art, I do have prints available. Click the link in my bio, and yeah, they start at $25. I'd be happy for you to have a look, and if you see anything you like, yeah, please do pick up a print, and if you're interested. if maybe you don't want to print, but maybe you're interested in painting yourself, then I would recommend, please do check out my YouTube channel. I have a whole bunch of tips and tricks in there for new painters, right from how to choose your oil paint, different recommendations for supports like wood or canvas or linen or paper, when to use them and why, and yeah, just lots of color theory stuff. Do I know how to draw an apple? Yeah, for sure. Check out my paintings. And you'll see that I have done lots of apples and peaches and pomegranates and all kinds of different still lives. What's my YouTube name? Oh, it's all my social media is the same name. It's Mark Liam Smith, same as my TikTok name, and like Twitter, you name it, Instagram. It's all the same, Mark Liam Smith. Have I drawn someone like one of my French girls before? I'm not sure what that means. Since you have a laughing emoji, I assume there... Yeah, I'm not sure which, so you'll have to elaborate. Yeah, I've done a lot of drawing. I did a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in drawing and painting. So I have drawn from live models, if that's your question. And some of them have been nude, yes. I'm not sure if that's your question or not. Oh, it's a Titanic joke. Okay. Got you. Sorry I bombed your joke there. It sunk. I knew there was another meaning to it because of the emoji, but... Just kind of making my way around this piece of orange. Adding lighter and darker. See, you have to change the value or the chroma if you want to change the plane. And so I have to be very careful because I have such a limited palette. I have to be very, very precise with what colors I'm using where. Am I sad? No, just the opposite. I'm phlegmatic. That I have a dry sense of humor, and I'm phlegmatic, so that may be misinterpreted as sadness. But no, I'm extremely happy. Do I like realism only? No, I like all kinds of art. You know, that's one of my paintings. Yeah, I like all kinds of art. I just, for art that I sell realism. But I produce drawings and paintings. I produce NFTs. Yeah. I do doodles and sketches and drawings and all kinds of things. I haven't drawn a lot of anime, no. No, I haven't. Have I tried water-soluble oils? Yeah. I haven't tried them, but I have a friend who has, and he liked them. Yeah, he didn't have anything bad about them to complain about. I think maybe the problem with water-soluble is that there aren't too many different manufacturers that make it. So you're kind of limited to the what is it, Winsor Newton that makes them. But if you're happy with all of the colors that they provide, and you don't really need more than that, then yeah, no reason not to. And especially, a lot of people come to oil from acrylic. Once you make that transition, you're pretty much never going back. So it's I think moving to water soluble oils, it's like a soft transition to other oils. I've talked to some people that have used water soluble, and they say the texture is not quite the same, but I don't know. I haven't. I'd have to reserve judgment because I haven't tried it. They look really good. They look like oil paintings. I'll say that much. You hate using a graph, you want to draw freehand? Yeah. When you need to have your composition be exact and there can't be any flaws, then graphs do come in handy. It's just another tool in your tool shed, in your toolbox. Yeah, I think all of that stuff is up for grabs. But it's really important to develop the skill to draw freehand, and then use the graph or the grid if need be. But do have the ability developed. That's quite important. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I started doing these TikTok lives, I didn't know whether I'd be able to concentrate on the painting and answering questions. So it just seems it is getting easier as I go along. Sometimes there will be awkward pauses, silence. What kind of paint? You thought it was digital? Oh, thank you. What brush am I using? This is, let me see. I don't know the name. Golden maple. It's a 0 round brush. It's what's important, and yeah, it was a present, actually. It was a Christmas present, so I can't let you know what the price was, but the quality is good. I thought it was digital. Oh, thank you. What kind of paint am I using? This is oil painting, yeah. Daniel Smith makes water-soluble oils too. I imagine those are really good because they have excellent watercolors. Daniel Smith is kind of the standard bearer for watercolor. So yeah, maybe they're great. That's why I think it's always safe to say that I reserve judgment. I wouldn't want to say anything bad, but and then just on a more kind of philosophical note, whenever you're creating, that's a good thing. If you're creating, you're not destroying. So I don't get when artists are competitive with each other. It's so weird to me. It's like we're all doing the same thing. We're all creating. We're all choosing to spend our time creating something. There's so much negativity and destruction, trolls, physical, mental, emotional destruction, toxicity, online, in the news, wherever you look. So when people decide to spend their energy creating instead of destroying, I think that can only be a good thing. So that's why I don't get competitive artists. Oh, thank you, Alex. It's very kind. You tend to compare yourself with other artists. Yeah, well, I mean, comparison's not all bad. You can compare yourself but as long as you're doing it for a good reason. Like, hey, I want to find out where I can improve. If you're comparing yourself in order to improve your own art, that's great. I think comparison is very useful in that case. But if you're comparing to another artist in order to bring that other artist down, that's when it gets dangerous. That's when you're running into problems, because then you're creating this environment of hostility. And it's hard enough to be an artist. Can you see the progress on the flower painting? Yeah, I put it to one side because the vase is still really wet. So I'm going to round off the vase by glazing the side and the bottom and this side, but it's still too wet. And then I also have to put some details details in the vase are just roughed in. And then once the green here dries, I'm going to darken up some parts of that. And then once the cadmium red here dries, I'm going to deepen the darkest parts just to bring a little bit more volume to it. So that's kind of where we're at right there. In Friday's live, I will resume with this one. So yeah, I think moving forward, we're gonna try to stick to this plan of Tuesday and Friday, 6 to 9. That's 6 o'clock Eastern time, which is -5 UTC for those of you in Europe. 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. Yeah. So yeah, twice a week, 3 hours per session, I think will be kind of the regular scheduled programming. I'll set the, I'll make the announcements. There's a little feature TikTok has where you can say when you're going on. Oh, thank you. Thanks very much. By keeping your palette simple, you know, I just have 2 oranges. I have a cadmium yellow deep, and then this cadmium red light. So I'll keep my palette fairly simple. I'm able to mix colors without worrying that they're going to get too muddy. The Photoshop sketching, yeah, I can show that at some point. That'll probably make a good TikTok. Bedroom. What do you do if I mess up? Yeah, with oil paint you have a lot of flexibility for making mistakes. So you can, if you catch it when the painting's still wet, you can just wipe it off. And otherwise, you can just wait a few, hours, days, depending on how thick it is, kind of thing, and then just paint over it. So you have options. With acrylic, you only have the option to paint over it. You don't have the option to wipe it off, unless it's extremely early. Like you make a mistake, wipe it off, and then even then it can be difficult. Oh, my 3-year-old is coming down to say goodnight. He usually likes to say goodnight in front of the camera and then read the comments because we're teaching him how to read now. So I'm just going to take a little interlude here while he says his thing. Just a moment. No, I don't have a Patreon site. I should really develop that. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Mom. So everyone my swimming lesson?
You want to show people your swimming lessons?
Yes.
Say goodnight.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks for waving. Okay, bye-bye. See you later. Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye, Xavier. Good night.
I love you.
I love you too. Too cute. Yeah, the person that asks if he has an accent, I don't hear it, but I think he does. He only speaks French with his mom and English with me. So I know that he has some things he says are Gallicisms, like using the French syntax. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, he really likes to read the comments. So thank you for everyone who participated there. Very nice. What time is it here? It's 7:30. Yeah, p.m. Do I plan on learning French along with him? Oh, I know French. I speak French with an accent because I'm a native English speaker. So I don't want to put any bad grammar or pronunciation into his head. But once he can speak well, then I'm happy to speak French with him. But I don't want. He's learning right now, so his mom is completely native, fluent in both, like zero accent in both. So she's doing the French and I'm doing the English. But yeah, it's important. You should do Zoom lessons because I'll pay to become a better drawer. Yeah, okay, cool. Send me an email and we'll set something up. I'm happy to do private lessons. I'm thinking about doing something like Zoom or maybe a Patreon or something like that, where one of the reward tiers is private lessons in painting or drawing. But yeah, in the meantime, I do on occasion do private tutoring. So if you would like, you can just send me an email. Nice. I appreciate that. Oh, my email? Yeah, there should be a link in my bio. It's my username, Mark Liam Smith, and then just at gmail.com. Yeah, when you go to my bio, you'll see a link tree, and my link tree has all of my social media and my website, and then I have you can contact me through my website as well. But yeah, that'll be awesome. I'd be happy to do private lessons. I just did a private lesson, a consulting lesson. It was somebody was wanting to pick my brain about how to get into galleries. So You know, there's no guarantee. There's no guaranteed way to get into a gallery, but there's certainly different ways you can increase your chances. There's certainly things you shouldn't do. Or ways to make yourself look untrustworthy, or different things. Yeah, good evening. I'm doing well. Thank you. Hopefully you're doing well too. If any of you are in Montreal, then please know my solo show that I have on right now has been extended until the end of this month. So if you, the gallery is in the Old Port. It's called Gallery Youn. That's Youn. And it's been extended till the end of this month. So you could go check it out. If you can't get to Montreal, and you would like to look at the show, you can contact the gallery. There's a links in my bio. Just galleryyoun.com, and they'll have be able to send you a PDF with all the paintings and prices and all that stuff on there. You're just working on a watercolor with a clear vase of water? Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really fun thing to paint with all the different textures. I like painting vases. Just brightening this area up a little bit. Trying to make it appear to be a little bit more translucent. Okay, on to the next one. Something like that should be fine. I'm going to switch back over to this larger brush just to get the basic colors down. And this one I'm going to paint slightly darker than this one, just so it pushes back into space and doesn't quite compete. So. What piece would I say is my magnum opus? Well, hopefully I haven't painted it yet, but probably the piece I'm most proud of, I'll just put a small caveat. I have painted my wife holding my son when he was a baby, when he was first born. That is a painting that will never make it into a gallery, that has way more sentimental value than any gallery painting I've produced. So excluding that, and those kinds of paintings, which I've painted my wife, I don't know, 8, 9 times, something like that, excluding those ones. Probably the biggest painting in my current solo show. It's called A Song of Sixpence, and it's 40 inches across and 30 inches tall, and it is just packed. It's a whole bunch of things on a table. I actually painted the whole thing on TikTok live over the course of, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 weeks or something like that. Last fall, last October, November. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm most proud of. You can check it out on my website. It's called A Song of Sixpence. I have it available in print form. Actually, it's available in physical form too. It's not exactly on the cheap side though, which is fair because it is the largest piece in the collection. Is this oil painting? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, thanks, Stella. I appreciate that. Yeah, toward the end of that painting, I was just trying to figure out what other textures I hadn't painted. Like there's fur and feathers and diamond and leather books and oyster shells and lobsters and just everything. Honeycomb. Lots and lots of metal, reflective, shiny metal. It became a bit of a study of textures by the end of it. Lots of pearls. For those of you who are makers of things, I just posted a challenge today called Life in the Dark Challenge. And so I was kind of hoping that those of you who are makers of things would give it a shot. Basically, the idea is you start making the thing, and then you turn the lights off, and then you have to finish the thing that you're making, whether you're a cook or maybe you draw or paint or something. But it's called Life in the Dark Challenge, and it's from the Red Cross. So I think it's a good cause. They're trying to promote that some places in the world don't have reliable access to electricity, full-time electricity. There's people living with limited power. So it's kind of raising awareness for that. So I was really happy to participate in that challenge. I just posted it today, so if you're interested, Or maybe you don't want to do the challenge, but if you want to support it somehow, you could check out that video that I posted and interact with it, share, comment, like, that kind of thing, if you want to. I think it's a good cause. Oh, thank you. Thanks very much. It says that cadmium yellow deep. And it's really great for kind of reading as transparent orange, like our translucent orange. I haven't caught it live in a while. Oh yeah, I'm kind of on a regular programming now. So I'm going 6 o'clock p.m. Until 9 p.m. Tuesday and Friday. So twice a week for the lives. And when I say 6 to 9 p.m., I'm talking Eastern Standard Time because I'm in Ontario. But if you're in Europe and you're trying to do the calculation, it's -5 UTC. Yeah, so Tuesday and Friday evenings. It's going to be the programming moving forward. Why am I painting in your nicely orange? Just because I want to. You're very good, thank you. Perfectly good, or you're not eating it? Do you want her to get his water? Color doesn't exist in the dark. Made my brother expired. Yeah, I guess so. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's true. If color is the light, and the dark is the absence of the light, then yeah, it makes sense. That's actually one of the ways that I explain to people who ask me what it's like to be colorblind. I say, imagine dimming the lights in a room. You start to lose the nuance of, especially of the lights that are very low saturation colors. The highly saturated ones you can still see and you can still tell. Yeah, that's pretty cool to think about though, Sue. Oh, thanks so much, yeah. Just so for those of you who do want to follow along and try this on your own, well, the colors I'm using here are all from Gamblin Paint, which is I still maintain is the best bang for your buck. So it's professional quality, but it's the least expensive oil paint you can get. It's an American manufacturer. They're out of Portland, Oregon. So I mostly use Michael Harding and Old Holland now, but this array, it's just basically, it's an analogous color wheel. So you actually have a couple more. You can go cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow medium, and then you go cadmium yellow deep, cad orange deep, cad red light, and then cad red medium, cad red deep, and you have all of the warm colors. So this is just a little slice. Anyway, this is what I'm doing for the oranges. So I have the high mid, low mid tones, highlights, and then the low lights here. And that way, by using 4 analogous colors, I'm able to keep the chroma extremely high. And that's what's giving it, that's why it's so vibrant and colorful, is because I'm not diluting that orange with anything that might have blue in it, like black. Yeah, I try to, when I paint something on, these, obviously this is the warm side of the color wheel. I try not to dilute my colors or dilute the chroma, unless I have to. If I'm painting a portrait, then skin tones are mostly desaturated oranges. So in those cases, I do have very reduced chroma. But yeah, draw a hand. Though I would appreciate the gift, I think I need to stay the course. But thank you for the offer. Anyway. Why aren't you wearing pants? That's funny. It's really cool when you see some of the old masters work, and you can see how they've built up the layers, all the glazing. And, sometimes the oranges are transparent. So amazing. There's a lot to learn from those museum visits. If you're lucky enough to have a museum in the place you live. Thank you to everyone who is tapping the screen and sending me likes. I do see them floating up the screen. So thank you. Your support is not going unnoticed. It's very much appreciated. I think I like painting oranges the best of the citrus fruit. It's because you have more range with orange, because you can add yellow for highlights, and you can add red for lowlights. But with lemons, they're very easy to turn into oranges. It's like you start with yellow and you can add white and go to a yellowy white, but it's really tough for the lowlights. not much to an orange, just that, you saw how quickly it came together. Just getting the blending of the different oranges and then just a couple of indications of white to imply the detail here. That's all I'm really doing, is just implying the detail. Thank you, everyone, for sharing as well. I see that every now and then people share the TikTok. That really does help me out. So for the 114 of you watching, thank you. If you have any questions about the art world or painting or being colorblind or anything like that, please do drop your questions in the comments. I'm happy to share my experiences too. Can you have a piece, like a piece of the orange or a piece of art? Oh, thank you so much. The Goodle Letters channel. Oh, thank you, Kate. Does it also taste the same? I wouldn't know. I think I would hesitate to find out what cadmium tastes like. It's a transition metal. So I can't imagine you'd last long if you ingested too much cadmium. Oh, I know, you're just kidding. I was playing along. Yeah, so just a little bit of peel here. So let's start that, and then we can move over to the other side. On the other side of the painting, we have some. These are going to be like mixed nuts, pecans, and cashews, and so on. Yeah, thanks very much. I do appreciate you stopping by. I know that TikTok can be a pretty fast-paced scrolling, and then you kind of get almost in a trance state of scrolling. So, yeah, I appreciate you all stopping and slowing things down. Okay. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a clementine. I don't know the difference other than size. I don't know if there are color differences, but yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate that. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. So let's do this section down here, and then with the peel, it's just a little bit of a light area down here, and then there have to be mindful of the shadow. So maybe over here, it's going to be still in that direct light. Goes down to about here, I guess. Something like that. Oh, thanks, Infinite Pile. That's what makes them different. The curl. Oh, nice. Thank you so much. Okay. I see a lot of hearts floating up on my screen, so thank you for everyone who's doing that. We just passed 20,000 likes, so that's really amazing. It's very much appreciated. I'm just gonna pause and take a drink. Thank you for all the shared, all the shares. It's very nice. After I finish this little clementine slice, I'm gonna put the shadows on the table, and then they're gonna really look three-dimensional. Right now, they're just kind of pasted on there, but yeah, once I get the shadows down, it'll look a lot better. So I think, yeah, we're gonna go with hand printed. That's funny. I think we're gonna go with Tuesday, Friday. We'll do a 3-hour session. So 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock on Tuesdays and Fridays. Moving forward, I'll make sure to drop announcements in the. There's a little section I can announce when my lives are. I'll make sure to do that a couple of days in advance, so you guys, if you are interested, you can kind of get the reminders well in advance. But Yeah. You drew the bulldog? Nice. Yeah, thanks for trying the tutorials. You don't have a very wide palette here. It's just a few different kinds of orange, so I have to be very careful about the value, like how light or how dark something is. I have to be careful about the value of the orange that I use. Let me see if I can put some dots and spots in here.